Hi, so for my teaching video, I'm going to be teaching you how to sight sing, basic tips on sight singing. But before we get started with that and get into what that all means, I'm going to introduce the theory of learning that I will be applying to this teaching video, which is Bloom's taxonomy. And the reasoning behind that is because music theory is a very broad subject, and therefore it requires different stages of deeper thinking and deeper understanding, which is essentially what Bloom's taxonomy is all about. I've been taking music theory since grade school, and it really is true that you can't move on to the next level or the next concept without fully grasping the current concept that you're studying. And that's because these topics within music theory are not separate. They all go together. So when you fully grasp one concept or topic within music theory, you're taking that knowledge to the next step. So it's very hard to learn new topics and move on to new levels if you don't fully understand the current one. So you could understand a fact, but if you're unable to apply or analyze that fact, it's very hard to understand a given topic within music theory and move on to the next level. So how I'm incorporating it is just going step by step, so knowledge, comprehension, application, etc., within my teaching video of sight singing. So I hope you enjoy and learn something new. Hello and welcome to my sight singing teaching video. So before I tell you what sight singing is, I'll tell you what sight reading is, which is the ability to read and perform a piece of music that you have not seen or learned before. So sight singing is for vocal musicians. I've broken up this video into two parts. So the first one is rhythm, which is essentially the pattern of time within music, so counting. So I'm just going to show you some basic knowledge on rhythm. So I'm going to show you the different notes that we'll be dealing with today. This is a quarter note, and it is worth one beat. So you would count 1. This is a half note. It is not colored in, and it is worth 2 beats. So you would count 1, 2. You'd hold it for 2 counts. This is a dotted half note, which looks like a half note with a dot. It is worth 3 beats, so you'd hold it for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, this is a whole note, just a circle here, and you'd hold it for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just moving on to some comprehension, we're just going to understand their values a bit better. So we're going to break it down like math equations. So this measure or bar of music has to equal 4 every single time. So let's think of the different ways we can write 4. So we could write it as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So that's 4 quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could write it as 2 half notes, which are worth 2 beats each. So that's the same as writing 2 plus 2 equals 4. So you would count it 1, 2, 3, 4. We could write it as a dotted half note and a quarter note. So that's like saying 3 plus 1 equals 4. So you would count that as 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could write it as just one whole note, which we know is worth 4 counts. So that would be the same as writing 4 plus 0 equals 4. So you would count it like 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving on to application, I would ask you to draw the notes. So if it asks you to draw a quarter note, you would draw a quarter note, color it in there, and we know that it's worth 1 beat. If I asked you to draw a whole note, you would draw just that circle, and we know that it's worth 4 beats. So this is just practicing the different notes just to get that ingrained in your brain. Next, we'd move on to the analysis, so filling in the missing notes. So once again, treating this like a math equation. Every measure here is going to equal 4. So we have 2 beats already, 1, 2. We need to find 2 notes that will fill in those last 2 beats. So we could add in 2 quarter notes. So that would equal 4. Moving on, we once again have 2 beats there already. So we need to fill in the last 2 beats again, but only using 1 note. So we could use a half note because that's worth 2 beats. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we know that a dotted half note is worth 3 beats, so we just need that one last beat using 1 note, which we know we could add a quarter note to. And here we just need one note to fill in all 4 of those beats, and we know a whole note is worth 4 beats. So these are the, So these are the answers down here. So you would count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. So let's move on to synthesis. We're going to count and clap the rhythm. We're going to put all of our knowledge together. So every single measure has to equal 4 beats, remember. So let's just look at this first line of music. So if I'm following all the guidelines, half notes being 2 beats, quarter notes being 1, whole notes being 4, dotted half notes being 3, here's how we could count it. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try this second one together. So once again, we have to count to 4 each measure here. Each time we're counting to 4. Okay, so let's do it together. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, so let's evaluate. Was this exercise successful? What do we need to correct? What do we need to practice? So do we need to practice the different kinds of notes? Do we need to practice keeping a steady tempo? What do we need to succeed? Moving on to this next part, we're going to be working on the solfege. And the solfege are just syllables applied to notes of a scale. You probably already know them from The Sound of Music when she sings, do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun, and so on. So these are just the syllables we'll be working with. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. And this is just a visual to help you understand what your voice will be doing as we sing them. So it's like stepping upstairs, right? Your voice will be going up 1 note each time. So we're going to start with do and go all the way up to that higher do. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Okay, so that was just a visual to help you out. Moving on to comprehension, why do we use solfege? It's just to kind of give us a universal syllable that we can use to recognize patterns and to sing when there are no words, right? So it's just like when you sing a song that you don't know the words to and you go la 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 la. It's just like that, but these are universal syllables. So moving on to application, we're just going to look at those same syllables but on a piece of music. So this is the exact same thing as the steps that I drew before. So this is the same thing as going do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Okay, so this is in the key of C. It starts on C and it ends on C. These are just the words that we apply to these notes going up. So looking at the analysis now, we're going to be working with movable do, which just means that every time we start, it will be with the syllable do. Okay, so we're just looking at this in different keys, which just means we'll be starting on a different note each time. So this will be the key of G. I'll play this for you. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And this is in a different key. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So you can see that in every single key, we are using the same syllables to go up the scale. So now we're going to put all of our knowledge together and sing various exercises. So number 1 is going to look really familiar because it's in the key of C and it's literally just going up the scale. Okay, so our voices are going up a note each time. So here we go. I'll give you the starting note and we'll see if you can sing it all the way up to that ending note. Here's your starting note. Go ahead and try and sing up the scale. 1, 2, 3, go. Did you get it? It's the same as the scale as we were doing before. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Good. Let's look at exercise number 2. This is a bit more challenging because we are working with multiple jumps here. So we're going to go up the scale like normal, but we're going to actually jump on these ones. So there's no fa and there's no re, so we're just going to make our voice go down 2 notes now instead of just 1. Okay, so you would play this as. Okay, so let's try and sing that. So I'm going to play the starting note, and we'll see if we can end on the same note. So we're starting on C and ending on C, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. We're actually going to skip this one and move on to our last one. So this is incorporating rhythm now too. So let's first remember that each bar is equal to 4 beats, 4 counts. So let's clap and count this rhythm first. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll play this for you first, and then you can try and see if you can do it on your own. So this is our starting note. Sing along if you'd like to practice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so let's see if you can get it on your own. I'm going to give you the starting note, and we'll see if you can end on that last note with me, okay? Here we go. Here's the starting note. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, go. How was that? Were you successful? What do we need to correct? Is it rhythm? Is it practicing those syllables? What do we need to practice for next time? Thank you so much for tuning in to my sight singing teaching video. I hope you learned something and enjoy the rest of your day.